Hello, we're your foreign sisters. I'm Liggy.
And I'm Kitty. And today we're going to talk about spirituality. For us, it's the second time. Because we realized we did not record the first time properly. So
I'm apologizing, I'm sorry.
Here we go. Spirituality. Liggy, why did you... Why? I actually genuinely didn't expect this topic from your side for some reason.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Well, long story short, Kitty kind of got me into astrology, like about star signs and suns and everything. And I kept being advertised Nordastro book over the Christmas. And after Christmas, so 2 weeks ago, I finally gave in. When Kitty bought one, I bought one. They came today, but we're going to make a review in the next episode because we obviously need time to read through them, see how we feel about them. So we figured that the intro to that episode could be a good, like spirituality could be a good lead into that. So you would already understand our viewpoints, where we're coming from, and just maybe understand us a bit better. So that is why we're talking about spirituality. And Kitty, do you want to tell us what spirituality is to you? I feel like I'm talking very fast now.
You did. I do feel like you were talking fast. So for me, spirituality, the first thing that kind of came to me was we are all one. We all are connected to universe. We all should be connected with the nature. And it's like all about meditation and being grounded and like all kinds of little rituals, crystals, and people being like coming together. It's more like, I think before I explained it very nicely that the fact that we live in this massive universe, so there's this big unknown space that all has planets and different environments and whatnot, and different compounds. And then you look on Earth, we have living beings in different types and shapes and forms, and animals and all these crazy plants, and then you look even deeper, and there is this cell level universe where like there's a whole new world in there. So that's like all in one and one in all kind of no, it's not physiology, no. Oh God.
I think so.
Yeah, I think one of my earphones died, but the other one is working, so it's fine.
Okay.
If you can hear me.
I can hear you, yes. We're just having technical difficulties today, guys, so please bear with us.
I feel like the universe doesn't want us.
Well, you're doing that.
Trying to tell us. Oh. Can you hear me?
I'm just gonna tell about what... Yeah, I can. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'll tell what spirituality is to me. So, when I googled the word word spirituality, I can't speak today. The first thing that came up was religion, because that is what the word basically described earlier on in life. And only nowadays, like in the modern life, it means more about everything else and about how we view ourselves as souls and spirits and bodies, and how we basically take care of that, and about astrology and about everything else. And so I technically grew up as a Christian, and I stopped believing in God when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I think. So my mother was very, well, she's technically Christian, and we have like Maria and Jesus on our wall, and we had all of the you shall not kill, you shall not steal, you shall not love the other wife or something. We had all of these rules written like printed on our wall, like stood there in the corner, so I saw them each day. But to me, I don't know, they never really sat well with me, because in my eyes, I've been thinking about this like ever since I was a child, obviously, because that's all I stared at, because it was like right opposite my bed. But I just don't think that makes you a good human. Like if you follow these rules with a promise that, oh, you're gonna get into heaven if you do follow all of these rules, I don't think that necessarily makes you a good human, because obviously you're doing it for selfish reasons, rather than you being a good human, if that makes sense. So to me, if I'm doing nice things, like Christian things, I'm doing it because I want to, because it makes me feel good. And although that is also selfish, I know that I'm not actually gaining anything afterwards. Like I'm just being nice because I want to be nice, because I like being nice to other people, because I like being nice to all human beings and animals and whatnot. And I'm trying not to be very judgmental, and I understand that there are different religions and I respect them all. And if that makes you feel better, and if that is what you believe in, and it makes you feel like there's a sense of life, I'm very happy for you. And I hope it actually pleases you, and I hope that whatever you believe is going to happen after that actually happens to you. But to me, I find a real sense of calm and peace if there's nothing. Like if this is my only life, my only like being that I will ever be, and I don't know, it just makes me feel like, why am I wasting it? Like I should be living how I want to live, and I want to be happy, so I'll aim to do that. I feel like I start rambling again. But yeah,
No.
that is how I grew up. But although my mom was a Christian, she was also a bit witchy. So she would do these weird rituals where she'd like burn some kind of weeds, like I don't even know, like these bundles around the house to like bless it and make all of the bad spirits go away. Or when it was like full moon or young moon or something, I don't even know which one. Yeah, she would fill up bottles full of water, because it was like the blessed water, and it was basically the same as in the one in the church, which never made sense to me. But yeah, and as I said, now later on in life, I'm basically agnostic. I don't really believe in a God, but if there is a God, I don't know, like I'm not saying there isn't. I'm very open to everything and anything, and I also know that my views will probably change as I grow older, as I understand life a bit more, and I'm okay with that. There's something else I wanted to say, but it completely flew out of my head. But yeah, that basically in short is, spirituality. Nowadays, I don't really believe in horoscopes or astrology in a sense, but Kitty kind of made me, well, she didn't make me, I volunteered, but she made me get this like sun reading, like kind of thing, where it like said how I can relight my life or something, like, I don't know, it just had a bunch of things that said that if I do these things, I'm going to be more happy in life. And I feel like it actually like described me very well. And when I started doing the things that apparently light up my life, it actually really helped, and it made me genuinely happier. But I don't know if it made me happier because I was doing something, if it made me happier because it was actually doing the thing it was meant to, or if it made me happier because everybody would be happy when doing those things. So in short, I'm a skeptic. I'm very open to anything, and I'm very excited to go through the North Astro book and seeing how I feel about it.
I'm sorry, I feel like you're very direct right now compared to the previous recording.
I'm just trying to remember everything I've said.
No, it's good. Yeah, the astrology, it is a thing called sun activating mechanisms, and I I got this through a Latvian lady, Sandra Raščenko. Actually, her Instagram is Sandra's Magic Kick. She's purely
We'll put
Latvian.
her
So
below.
yeah, but I really like through her. I think my perception of astrology changed completely as well. I do say, I guess I'm slightly skeptical about certain things. For example, horoscopes, as you mentioned, I don't think they're a thing. The way she presents it is more like a tool that you still have your life in your hands, but there's like this like a playbook that specifically designed for you that you can use to help you elevate your life quicker or like gain energy, like be always on a good roll, I guess, or somewhat good roll. Not that you would be lucky or anything, like you would still have to go through life as it comes and goes, but yeah, I guess you would be more supported within yourself on some level. But interestingly enough, for me, I don't connect astrology with spirituality as much, just because, yeah, I don't know. Even though it is kind of natural, that the one connection is the universe that I just mentioned, and astrology is about kind of stars and planets and their locations and certain specific times. But yeah, like overall, I never really looked at it as a spiritual thing. It's more of I would say it's more closer to a witchy thing than anything else. And you did mention that, yeah, you at home, you had sort of religious upbringing with some religious items or things at home, and you would sometimes, I guess, I don't know, like around certain celebrations maybe it would sort of be like a religious thing, but not fully. I don't know what I'm saying. For me, I never grew up with a religious background at all. My parents said they were baptized with some sort of one of the religion's parts, but they never baptized me or my sister, so we never really went to church or anything, except maybe like a very occasional Christmas something. I would always go in churches and be like, oh wow, this is very slightly not scared, but like, wow, like a different feel. I would feel like I don't really fully belong there just because we're not very religious.
It feels very intimidating in a way.
Yes. And when I was just starting university and then visiting Latvia, and I think we went to church as well for Christmas. Like there was a Christmas concert, that's why we went there. And I remember laughing at someone saying, oh, I hope I don't burn in there because I haven't been very holy or something. Yeah, but overall I would say like I have respect towards churches and like as a building and a place where people come and pray, and they have all these how do they call the meetings they have every Sunday or whatever, and yeah, the Christmas concerts.
I think they call them services. Yeah,
services. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fascinating because there's so much history in churches, like as buildings, and also like the stories, and I don't know. So I like them as well. It's just don't believe in it.
Yeah, they are a bit intimidating, I would say. Every time you go in, it's like energy changes. And I feel like the fact that I'm talking about this energy changes clearly shows that I'm not very religious, because I don't think that's how people talk. It's more like a spiritual way how to talk about living things.
Yeah, but I feel like
the experiences.
I know what you mean, because so although my family technically was religious, I feel like my parents, they will hate me for saying this, use that as an excuse. Like I don't think they actually were religious. Like they never went to church. They only prayed when something bad happened. And I don't know, it just wasn't very, they weren't very good Christians. Like they would use honestly that as an excuse. I was actually baptized when I was 13 or 14 in Ukraine, which was which
my
was a
God.
very weird, yeah, it was a very weird experience, because obviously at that time I already
You
knew
didn't-
that I don't believe
Yeah.
anything, and obviously in Ukraine they have a different, like, it's still Christianity, but it's
It's
unorthodox. I think that's how it's in English.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Like the Russian one, pareisticīgi in Latvian, and yeah, it was just so odd. And I remember there was so much drama around it as well, like from my family being my family, you know, and it just felt so awkward, and I hated it. And I know what you mean about the like change in energy as you walk into the church, but I feel like that's because there are so many expectations there, because you know, you walk in there and you're like, oh, so this is where the gods is, you know, and you shouldn't be mean, you should be nice, but then again you should be like that all the time. And I don't know, I just feel like there's so many expectations, and other people also, their energy changes because they're like, oh, can't be thinking naughty thoughts or something like that. Like, I'm being very plain about it, and I know that, you know, religion isn't just about that, but yeah, it was just a very weird experience. And I remember when my aunt was there, and she walked out because she was wasn't feeling good in the church, and my mum was like, oh, that's because she's a slut and God knows it. And I was just like, well, how the fuck can you say that in a church? Like, how is that Christian of you, you know? So to me,
It's so judgy.
yeah, to me, religion has been like also tainted by my upbringing, I guess, and by the fact that it's been used as an excuse. And I honestly don't think that, well, God is meant to be karma, right? He's meant to like treat good people well, and bad people are meant to suffer. That is not the experience I've had in my life. In my experience, good people suffer and bad people thrive. So to me, I don't know, just it was easier for me to stop believing in it, because I had one terrible night, and some bad things happened during that night. And after that night, I was just like, well, how can he be real? How can he like be chilling and just looking at all of this nonsense, these horrible, terrific things happening, and not doing anything about it? So that's when I stopped praying, and I stopped praying for the bad things to stop, because I was just like, well, it's never going to happen. So that made me kind of feel easier, because I was like, oh, yeah, I am lonely in this, but at least now I know I'm lonely in this. Like, I know I'm alone. I'm not putting all of my eggs and prayers into somebody else. Like, it's just me, and I'm going to take care of me. So that, in a way, helped me. But yeah, and nowadays I don't know what I believe in. And I think that's also okay.
Yeah, that is. That definitely is. Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned I believe in nature. I think that's the closest thing, you know. There is astrology, there is the universe. Yes, we kind of know something about it, right? We do explore it, but what do we have here and now, right? Like here on this planet right now, where do I live on Earth, right? So that's, I think, yeah, that's more like, I would say, yeah, I just believe in nature. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means anything for people, but for me, it kind of makes sense. Because yeah, that's one thing that I can actually touch and see, and it has its own cycles,
I think
and it has its own kind of rules, right?
It's kind of very Latvian of you to say that, though. Because, you know, we're technically pagans.
Yeah.
And we like celebrate nature and life and sun, and you know, so it's kind of lovely to hear you say that, because I do agree with you. Like, I don't really have that many spiritual experiences, I would say, but one of them, the ones that I feel like have come closest to them, was when we were celebrating your birthday in Tuja, like near the sea. It was just us by the sea, and we could see all the stars, and we could hear the sea, and we could hear all of the trees behind us, like kind of like that felt like, oh my God, I am alive moment, you know? And nothing was even happening. It was just us tiny in this little, big, massive world. And it just felt like, yeah, it just felt there was so much hope in the air, so
Yeah.
much, I don't even know how to describe it, but that's where I felt like, oh yeah,
Oh
nature,
my god.
maybe, yeah. So I get what you mean, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that specific moment in time, yeah, I've thought about it multiple times, and I thought, yeah, that was just, you could basically see the Milky Way actually at some point, right? We could see the gathering of the stars, and I was like, oh my god, I do use the word, the name of,
Yeah,
for some
yeah.
reason.
I feel like whenever it has gotten a bit harder in my adult life nowadays, I have like this urge to go back to that moment. Like that moment has been like idolized in my head because it was so amazing. Like it was just you in nature, nothing else. There was no electrics, no phones, no nothing. It was just us, like us friends, your parents somewhere,
Yeah.
and it was it was very grounding. It felt like us and nature were one. And
Yeah.
I sometimes miss that. I really do. We should go back.
We should go back, yeah. But you know what? I think the next year I did it the same place because I wanted the similar feel, but I don't think it felt the same. It was different. So you can't really chase the same.
We had more people that year as well, I think.
We had, yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, yeah, that was, yeah. I liked that birthday because I was like, I had this idea, I had this vision how I wanted to be, and I made it happen. Well, not just alone. I had my parents and everyone kind of involved, but yeah, I think it was really cool. Well, that was, yeah, I love that memory.
In a way, that was my favourite birthday, and it wasn't even my birthday.
True.
Yeah, it was very, yeah.
Because I think we were staying in tents that year as well, weren't we? It was like, oh, yeah. It was good times. But yeah, back to spirituality, yeah? Or religious experiences. As we did say, well, you're a bit more sort of from a religion background, me not so much, but we realized that some things that we were doing around, for example, Christmas time, which in Latvia isn't, well, for majority, isn't really about God and religion and the Jesus, but we still did and still are doing some of the practices that apparently were connected to religion more than our, I don't know, just random, how do you call them, traditions. The candles, the 4 candles, the 4 candles before Christmas on a reef.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
but I never connected it to religion as much, if I'm honest. Yeah.
No, me neither. As I said in the video that you will never see because it doesn't exist. I'm still sad about it. Yeah, I only realized like in November, so a few months ago, that it is a religious thing, because I wanted to make this advent wrap, and I was doing research if I can even buy one in the UK, and that you could buy a few, but I didn't really like any of them. And then I started googling what it actually represents, and it turned out each candle represented, like, one was for joy, one was for love, and then they were meant to be different colors, so it was either blue or purple, and the last 5th one was pink, and we don't even do the 5th one. I don't think, at least I've only seen the 4 candles. So yeah, I didn't know that that was a religious thing. But what I wanted to say is that if you kind of look at Latvian history, some of the traditions we have, like during Christmas and like Easter and summer, they have been, like, the religious one has been like placed onto the paganist ones, because in the winter we burnt the trees and everything before, like, to celebrate, like to praise the gods and to ask, for whatever. And now, like, trees represent something else again, and same as for Easter, it was all about the sun becoming, the days being longer, and about that sort of thing. So and again, it happened around the same time, like when religion took over Latvia. So I feel like that's very, like, interesting. So that's maybe why none of the like Christian celebrations actually feel
Very
religious to me.
Yeah.
Because because even like Christmas in Latvian is celebration of winter, not actually Christmas. Like if you translate
winter solstice, isn't it?
You know.
Yeah.
But Ziemassvētki means, you know.
Yeah, winter. Winter celebration.
Celebration
But that's why I think in connecting to paganism, it would be more like a summer winter solstice celebration, right? Like, because it's just different.
That it has nothing about Christ in the name, which is I don't know. That's interesting to me, at least. Yeah, I do too. I'm glad. But maybe we're glad because it's never been about the Christ to us. I don't know. And I know that some people find it weird that non-Christians celebrate Christmas, but to us it's never been about Christ or God or anything. So it just it's just a tradition.
Exactly. Yeah. I do want to say, I think earlier I was laughing about going into church and saying I might burn or something. I do want to say, I respect anyone who believes in anything bigger. I think it's very helpful. It can be very helpful for people to believe in something bigger, and if it really does help you and support you throughout your life, of course it's great. And I don't laugh about that. I don't laugh about that at all, but overall I do. I think when I was younger, when I was thinking about religion, even then I was like, you know what, I would probably go with Buddhism or something that accepts every other religion at the same time, and there are also multiple bigger figures that you kind of follow for, rather than this one God that does everything and promises amazing life afterwards. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
So what Kitty's saying is we're not judging anybody, and we're quite open to anything because we understand we don't know. We technically know nothing, and our views are going to change and our understanding is going to change. And if your spirituality and your beliefs help you, we're very happy they do. And as I said before, I hope that whatever you wish and you believe is going to happen to you in afterlife, I hope that comes true. I genuinely do hope that for every single one of everybody. So I hope all the Christians get to heaven, and I hope I get nothing, because that is, I don't know, that's what makes me feel saner, I suppose. But yeah, so also we would really like to know what spirituality is to you, what it means to you, and how you feel about it. Please let us know in the comments or send us a DM, and we're genuinely curious.
Oh, yeah, I want to learn other people's perspectives and experiences. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I feel very undereducated in this area, religion and spirituality. I just I think that's.
It's hard to be. Yeah.
Yeah, in this episode, it's more what it kind of means to us or how we feel it through us. It's really a personal experience, I would say, rather than actually, I don't know, based on some evidence or whatever. But yeah, I think previously I was mentioning that I actually don't really feel spiritual, especially lately. But then I was also thinking, have I ever felt spiritual? Because before, I don't know, 5 years ago, I probably didn't even know what spirituality is. I didn't even hear people talking about it or doing anything about it. And it's only in recent years that I have been in this informational bubble where people do talk about it and they do practice some spiritual practices and routines and rituals. And just because of them, I associate spirituality with these certain things. Yeah. And I'm trying to be more spiritual, but I don't feel spiritual at the moment because winter is tough. I know I'm blaming winter for everything, I'm sure it's my fault. I just need to regulate myself and be more grounded within myself, and not run away from my problems. And maybe that's gonna help. But I do feel like with the light coming, staying longer these days, I feel better and better. So it does affect me quite a lot. That's why I believe in nature. Cyclical living. Because the goddamn sun is affecting my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think we
thank
tried.
you guys for listening and watching.
Yeah, I think we tried to salvage what we talked about before in this recording.
Yeah.
And I hope it brings some thought processes. Maybe I do hope to hear some experiences or see some experiences. That would be nice.
Let us know in the comments. Also, let us know if you have any specific comments about the Nordastro book as well. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it in more detail in the next one. So thank you for watching and listening.
Yeah, thank you.
See you later.
See you next time.